Snuts to be able to port away, but it's still damage.
Right.
Alright, so if it's going to be ruins, it's going to be big fights over the center.
That was excellent play by the MLD there with the CC and the NS. I'm really liking these NS clones on the healers. Almost every time they've resulted in a kill, so all these Druid, Shuri, Soda, Velsa have been throwing them out.
Yeah, amazing that we see Resto Druids.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess in tournament play, you know, when you kind of know what you're playing against, it's completely different than blind queuing on live.
Yeah, because then, you know, you queue into Air Dog XL, triple Ret Paladin on a Druid, just die instantly.
Yeah. Right. This gate's got to be opening soon.
And gates are open.
Alright, I'm going to jump in. We got to get killed in the center this time, hopefully these teams. Oh, they're not killing me. There we go. Alright, this hunter like two-shots me.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm going to count it down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright, so right out of the gate again.
What we do, is the series tied at 1-1?
It is, yep.
Okay, so this is going to be the game point here.
It is. We have Soda prowling. Of course, we do have Data, who is also prowling around. It looks like Soda is right out of the start, and no, it's going to be a quick start onto Snuts, who is silenced, followed by...
Soda has NS up, and he just got scattered with it up. Already had to use NS that early. Ton of damage onto Snuts. Soda is in a full clone, has to trinket already.
Wow, and he's already treeing.
Ton of...
Wow, and a Cyclone... Also, and Data's doing a good job of using those instant Cyclone finishers to stop a lot of the healing. Over time, that makes a huge difference.
Has been sitting in a full sheep there.
Yeah, that was a smart play.
Another sheep is running in for the fear, but gets deeped and feared. Very good peels there by the MLD.
It is. So we have another scatter onto Soda, right there.
He does have those deadly poisons, so it's going to break that. And it was a very good clone there on Data. There's a feigned death by Karam, and he's dismissing his pet, so he could probably get another monkey blind out.
Yep, and we have Krill, who is now in a deep freeze with both of his teammates sitting at about 70% hit points.
Just had a Feldom by Snuts, probably to get another lock onto Krill.
Alright.
Krill using his trinket there on a fear. Soda's in a full clone, can't get out of it, doesn't have anything. You're going to see some follow-ups into a trap.
Yeah, we have a UA Dispel though onto Krill. Data down at 50% life, and another UA Dispel. Yeah. Second UA Dispel in a row. Any crowd control onto Krill might make something happen at this point. Data down to 30% life, and he
does use Bark Skin, but they're automatically putting the pressure back onto Snuts, who hits a sizing shot at 30,000 health.
And not too good. Wow, and then Soda.
Wow.
That was rough right there. Not having his portal, I don't believe... Oh, his portal was on cooldown right there, not able to get out, but...
Just tons of damn. I mean, Soda's popping almost every cooldown in the opener, because these hunters and barrels are just disgusting openers on them.
Yeah, Soda dropped down, or Snuts dropped so low straight from the start that Soda had in.
And I think he silencing shot him, so he couldn't...
yeah, silencing shot Snuts too. Right.
Absolutely couldn't do anything, couldn't pour, couldn't fear any or anything. So just a ton of damage. Soda just had an NS on his first global, got scattered, and used probably about 90% of his cooldowns there.
Krill's the #1 priest again! Yay! Oh, that was so much damage, though, from the hunter. Yeah. Of course, Data doing a ton of damage also.
Okay, so it looks like we're going to try and get into the next match.
Deserter match?
Right, the Deserter match. So we're going to have the RLS versus the Cleave, which is the DK, Feral, Holy Paladin versus RLS, which should be pretty interesting. Let's see if we can get that going.
Yeah, we haven't seen too much impressive play out of the RLSs yet, because I know there's a lot you can do with that comp.
Right.
Of course,
well, we did see them take down the RMP, but they did kind of. It was more of a brute. I mean, obviously they played well, but it was more of a kind of a brute force into the healer on that.
I think people are just excited to see Resta Druids.
Yeah.
Alright, so if you guys are just tuning in, of course, this is NAO Invitational, sponsored by SkillCapped. We thank them a lot for sponsoring. And on your screen right now...
I'll go back to the brackets. I apologize.
Is the brackets.
There we go.
Alright. That is going to be the brackets. And if you guys can do us a favor and link this stream everywhere, go post it on Reddit or Twitter or Facebook, everything. I know that there's a bunch of threads up on Arena Junkies talking about it right now. And there's a post on the World of Warcraft forums under Arena. Just look for it and bump it and like all the posts on there.
Absolutely, definitely. And a big thanks to Arena Junkies as well for kind of hosting it on their front page. They're pretty much the staple of the Arena community right now.
Yeah, they are.
And we're in queue.
All right. And for those asking, we're using War Games to queue, so we can cross-server queue, and we can pick what matches we want, or what maps, rather. And, of course, first map is always going to be the Grand Arena for the rounds. And then the losing team gets to pick at that point. And you can't play the same map twice in a row. Because if not, we'd be seeing lots in the Grand. Probably a lot more.
So what do you think is going to happen between this match? So we have the RLS, who usually is able to, from what I've seen, go on the healer. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to stick on that Holy Paladin, though, with a DK and a Feral.
No, I mean, they might be doing a lot of damage to the DK. He is going to be a vulnerable target for them. I mean, after the AMSs are down, it is something that they can do. I mean, he's going to be able to break out of a couple stuns here and there, but riding the DK is going to stop a lot of his damage. But then again, that Feral, I don't know. So when they were splitting earlier on two targets, it seemed just both targets were melting. And it's that dancing bear. Alright, as gates are about to open. Can you see? Alright, I'm going to jump in.
So I think we're going to see a ton of CC again on Metaphors with those instant clones and strangulates.
Alright, once the players get back in the start, they look like they are about ready. Alright, I'm going to count it down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And then we're going.
Alright, so we'll have to see where the Rogue is going to see if he can get an opener. Flabber's right now trying to find it. Looks like he's going to get a sap.
Does get the sap on that DK.
Yeah, and he's going to hang back a bit.
Yeah, but Feral Druid is trying to bear that opener, but he does get AoE feared. And the Rogue just completely controlling that DK. It's tapped him again, and now is opening on him. That Feral Druid completely feared across the map. Does have the instant clone up and uses it on the lock there to kind of stop his opening dot pressure.
He already danced, too. I mean, this is a big opener onto the DK, who gets cycloned. And the Rogue gets cycloned, rather, and he steps over.
Very good play by that Feral Druid, using its instant clones and then hard casting them.
So we have a damage on this DK right now. Yep, and so the Holy Paladin is going to have a problem right there, but the DK able to live through it, disarmed right after. Wow, tons of damage onto the DK again. The Holy Paladin
did get it feared.
So much.
Yep.
Yeah, using his pet already, that Guardian. And there we go. Now we see a necrotic.
There's a swap on Metaphors. Onto that Shaman.
Has to NS, and his life almost didn't move. There was so much necrotic on him. Lushies gets back into cat form.
There's another smoke bomb, and the DK's gonna IBF and get out of that as soon as he can. This Frail Druid's just basically free casting clones.
Yeah, but there we go. We see Wings out of the Paladin, trying to use those instants as much as he can to get Yusha's back up. He is sitting at half right now, but there's not much crowd control going out onto the Paladin. That Paladin doing a great job of dancing in and out of line of sight.
There was the grip on some Metaphors. Looks like they're trying to go on him, but this RLS is just completely riding this DK. There is a full fear onto the Paladin. He has to bubble that. He used Aura Mastery as well right before that.
So that AMS is going to be up right now. There was a Garrote. I like that onto the DK also. As a pillar comes out. And we have an HOJ on Paladin.
Is going to get feared soon, I believe. Maybe not.
Oh, they're putting dots up on him now. Oh, looks like it's going to be a
switch
switch onto the...
Yep, he has no bubble. He has just Garroted. It's just dots with the Rogue on that Paladin. Let's see if he can solo him here.
And this
another
is not
kidney.
good for the Paladin.
He's coming over. The Druid's coming over. He has an NS clone proc on the Rogue. Oh,
wow, that was a good idea to come back into that. But a lot of offensive damage quickly on to the Paladin. That Rogue stance is going to be up in about 12 seconds right now, plus the coil is almost back up.
A ton of damage on the Metaphors here.
Yeah, Metaphors might be in trouble also. There is a Spirit Link Totem still, hasn't had to use that yet.
DK is dipping very low, he has to get bopped with
Dance is back up.
See if they have anything on the Paladin. I believe he's trying to fake a spell lock here.
No,
coil onto him. He has to trinket the coil, and the DK goes down.
It goes down. Yeah, and that's what they did. They ran that Holy Paladin out of the cooldowns that he could. They almost killed him.
Almost. If he would have had cloak up for that clone or a trinket, I might have been able to kill him there.
And there they go. Alright, so that means the first round is going to go to the RLS. And looks like the DK is the person they definitely were going to go on. They swapped after the bubble, which was a great idea, almost scoring a kill there. Lushies rather, doing a great job of coming back with that instant Cyclone proc and peeling for his team. Wow.
Ton of damage being put out, and the clones are they're just obnoxious. I mean, this Druid just instant cloning everything every couple seconds, and he's also hard casting the clones, and everything's cloned like constantly. At least something is. And it looks like the Cleave, the losers, are choosing Dalaran for the next map.
Yeah, I mean, I know they're not going to go on the Warlock anyway. They've been going on the Shaman almost exclusively. It's be really hard to catch the Rogue in a position where he can be trained, especially on this map. So I have a feeling they're just going to go on the Shaman again, and having a Cleave there. I mean, it should help, because we know the Shaman's going to be sitting behind those pillars the entire time. And for those of you tuning in, of course this is a player-run tournament. We're using the Russian UI mod that Prestige Gaming created and was gracious enough to let us use it for this tournament. And so on Sewers, what we have to do is get our commentators killed, and then the players are going to start on either side at their stairs.
Yep, so I think they're going to do the same thing here. Riding that DK kind of stops a lot of the necrotic and just controlling them the whole time.
And the gates are open.
Alright. Last time I joined, I got shot out of the water instantly. And I just saw the croc get thrown. Alright. Okay, I'm going to release. Just going to let these players Get in position just for a second. They are standing down. Both are. So I'm